to be here again. And I wanted, Mark did it already, but on behalf of IBM, let me thank you for your partnership, your commitment to IBM, and your passion for this company. I mean, and it's a passion for our clients. And I was just saying to someone, this is my 4th partner world that I have been to. So I have been to every one of them since I've been CEO. And just to show you my commitment, I tell you, yesterday I landed at, we were just debating, I think I got here at 3:30 a.m. because I was always not the intention, but I was determined to get here. And I yesterday got a call. I joined President Obama. He had a meeting of all of the presidents of the ASEAN countries. And he called and, you know, could I be at this meeting? And I thought, well, now how can I say no? And I'm like, it's President's Day, it's a holiday, right? I mean, he's like, you don't have anything else to do. I'm like, okay, here we go. Real President's Day. But I was determined, but it was California, okay? But we got here, and that is at least a little bit of a window into my commitment to you. Because this has always been a time to talk about how to embrace the new opportunities ahead. And Mark was going back over 2 years, and I too went and looked at what I did in my last 2 years with you, because honestly, we have been on a transformation journey together. The IBM company has, and you have been there right with us. And so I go back 2 years ago, 2014. So I kind of think of this as the first real big year of the transformation. And we talked about how the industry was reordering. There were these shifts, the big 3 around big data, cloud, mobility. And IBM introduced and really drove our focus on our strategic imperatives. We called them that. That was our big data and analytics business, our enterprise cloud, and then what the world we called engagement. Social, mobile, and we kept saying, but it's got to be underpinned by security. So that's what we talked about, these strategic imperatives, the reordering of our industry. Then last year, what I came here and said was, okay, now look, that's a direction, but you have to differentiate yourself. Industry, and as an example in the area of cloud, it was hybrid. So now I want to start, as we start year 3 of this journey together, and this really is a turning point. And as I was writing my annual report letter, you'll see that. And I want to start by asking you a question. So I think I can see in the room. So how many of you would say you run a digital company or are working to make your company more digital? Raise your hand. Okay, this is like a trick question, all right? It's everybody. And you are not, every place in the world I ask that question, everyone raises their hand. But then I have a second question. So when everyone's digital, who wins? Because every industry's got their Tesla, their Airbnb, whatever it is. And so what I want to share with you is this strong belief that digital is the foundation, and we're all going to keep driving those businesses. It's the foundation, but it's not the final destination. Because the 4th shift, and we believe this, and I talked to many of you partners already starting down this path, the 4th shift is in front of us. In this 4th shift, the cognitive era, it stands to be the most disruptive, but it will be the most differentiating. So in my short time with you today, let me talk a little bit more about that digital foundation that has to be there, but then how we're going to help you differentiate by being cognitive. But let me start with that digital foundation, because we've all got to keep going down this path. And this is why we've built, I hope, the best set of capabilities to help you do that. We are now the world's largest leading big data analytics company, $18 billion last year. We have now brought the cloud to the enterprise, public, private, hybrid. You'll see our infrastructure as a service in 46 data centers. We've added video, object storage, and more. You'll hear about that from Robert. Our platform as a service, Bluemix, 1 million people, and I can't even remember, tens of thousands more every week being added. And then software as a service, over 100 different software as a service products, more to come. And then third, what we've done is this reimagining of work, but in a secure world. And that has to do with our mobility work, particularly it was kind of highlighted through the partnership with Apple. But now we've also built the world's largest enterprise security company. So together, for IBM, those businesses last year were $29 billion. They're now 35% of the IBM company. And just 2 years ago, they were 22. Now, I tell you that strategy, this digital foundation, because it's a stark contrast, I think, to what some of our competitors are doing. You see two of them coming together on yesterday's business model, and you see another one breaking up on yesterday's business model. So very different strategy. But many of you, Mark, you said it, all these BTIs, the transformation workshops, I looked at the statistics. 350 of you have done these workshops. If you did them, growth is up 20% on average, and you grew in core business, as well as growing in your new areas. And perhaps most interesting, I just said the strategic imperative, that digital foundation, it's 35% of IBM. In aggregate, it's 46% of business partners. So you're moving faster. In fact, that's up 21 points from last year. So I really, if I do nothing else, I want to applaud you. I want to thank you. Thank you for embracing this transformation and this strategy with us, because it shows that where you've transformed, I mean, you really have grown. And there's one other thing about our strategy that I hope, and I heard it from many of the people I just got to meet here, that you see really clearly. We can't be more committed to a partner and an ecosystem belief. I mean, this has really been a change for us over the last couple of years. We've always had partner programs, always been dedicated, but this is far more than that. I mean, a firm belief that what we're offering is a platform for you, and you are the ecosystem to drive that innovation. We'll do little pieces of it, but it is a real belief that the majority is going to come out from you. So in my talk, I wanted to highlight some great successes from people in this room. Now, 3/4 of you in the room are solution providers. And so just a couple different examples of what some of the solution providers are doing. Lifesize, and again, I can't see where everybody's sitting. Lifesize, a company that did hardware-based video solutions. Good business, but just like this focus on as a service, a lot of people don't want to spend CapEx. They want to go ahead and move to an launch a cloud-based kind of opportunity here, which is what Lifesize did, video conferencing on the cloud. And in fact, given on the cloud, they could extend it for lots of different other things to add on to it. And now they've got over 2,300 customers on SoftLayer in 18 months on our public cloud. Now, I want to sort of underscore, hybrid though is as well a big opportunity as an addition to public. And Mark, you mentioned, we announced the new mid-range mainframe, hybrid secure. And a few weeks ago, we had a whole set of data announcements that were in the hybrid world as well. And you will see a lot more announcements next week in hybrid as well. So all around, making this the best solution for our clients who are going to live in a hybrid world. There's no two ways about it. Now, there's a lot of folks in the room, back to this digital foundation. So cloud is a piece, but there's a lot of systems integrators and resellers here that have now also added analytics to their solutions. So Proactive Solutions is in the room, and their client, BJC Healthcare, is about patient information, and they've helped put it on-prem and off-prem. I mean, a lot of people know all the issues of security, privacy around healthcare data. On-prem, it's on our server and storage, but in the cloud, it's the Watson Health Cloud. And then they've added the analytics to look at medical images. Or Data Clarity is here in the room. Another great example, this is an accelerator for Cognos. And in fact, lots of analytics for Nike, right? This is what I mean by we're looking for you to deliver the innovation. And then the other part about being the digital foundation, so you got cloud analytics, mobile, right? And I got to meet the folks from Point Source. And one of their clients, big mobile app for security first insurance on IBM Mobile First, a price quote in 3 minutes, drove the conversion rate up 35%, and a portal for policyholders that's driven policyholders to do online payments 140% more. Now, what I've been most impressed about is I've looked through all of the many successes you've had. So many of them, you're able to quantify the value to clients. I mean, that's the new world you live in. It is time to value. So again, I mean, my hat's off to you. I know these are workshops and all sorts of things to do that. But I should pause. Back to this digital foundation, it does not diminish the importance of hardware. Mark, you called out flash. So whether it's our power, flash, I mean, this new world is about processing huge amounts of data most economically. Argo Graphics, power and flash, you're a great example of this. The solutions to help auto companies do crash simulations, huge amounts of unstructured data, video, weather, all of that. So these are all examples, and I know there are many more in the room, but I wanted to do a number of them to show you this digital foundation is so real. Data, cloud, engagement. Okay, but in my time, that's only part of our story and part of our journey together. Because when I started, I said, and you all raised your hands, so when everybody's digital, then what's going to separate you from everyone else? What's the difference going to be in the winners and the losers? So, enter the cognitive era. And as I keep repeating, most disruptive, yet it will be the most transformative. This was my big talk yesterday with the presidents of all these countries. They have a chance to leapfrog. You have a chance to leapfrog. So let me describe what we mean by the cognitive era, because it is both a business era and a technology era. And if I shorthand it, take digital business and add digital intelligence to it. And there's three big drivers that are technology drivers that both make it come alive and make it different. So one is, forever we've talked about the volume of data, but I want you to remember a different tagline. Invisible data is now visible. 80% of all the data in the world, right? I mean, there's lots of 80% out there. 90%'s been created in the last 2 years, 2.5 trillion bytes a day, but 80% of it is unstructured. 80% of it's video too, by the way. Sight, sound, motion, sensors. And traditional systems, it can hold it, move it around, share it, but doesn't understand what's in it. That's what's changing. The second big thing is the advent of cognitive computing itself. Now, I know cognitive doesn't always just roll off your tongue, but it's much more than AI, than artificial intelligence, and that's why we use the word cognitive. Because it's natural language, but it's very domain-specific knowledge. So these are systems that can understand, reason, and learn. That's how you and I make decisions. We sense information, we reason, we form hypotheses, we test it against what we know, we come up with an answer, confidence, no confidence, why we believe. That's what this does, and that's what Watson does. Watson has really been the symbolic, in my view, the world-leading cognitive system out there, the first, the leading, the #1, and we will remain #1 on this. And research spent a decade building Watson. Now, Watson debuted in it's January 2011 now, but we have come a long way, and it speaks volumes to our commitment to you to take Watson. Because when Watson came out in Jeopardy, it did one thing, question and answer, and he had 5 technologies underneath it. Today, Watson is 32 different functions, 50 different technologies under it, and they're all accessible via an API. We're in 36 countries, 80,000 programmers, 500 companies that have been built, new companies built on Watson. So far, invisible, visible, the advent of cognitive computing, and then third, it's the phenomena of code and cloud. It's almost like a poem. This idea that the world will be rewritten in software, you hear people talk of that, and that actually the cloud is the platform for all the new digital builders out there, and they no longer write applications, they compose them with APIs. So when you take these kind of 3, in my view, powerful paradigms together, it allows you to build thinking into anything you do, any process, any product, anything. And it will fundamentally change a company, a profession, an industry. And it is what will allow, and I believe it is available to help you transform. It'll change what you do, and it will change what your clients do. I can tell you that because I know it's already changing us. Because many people will say, IBM is a hardware software services company, which we will be, and we are, but it's no longer all we do. How I describe IBM now is I say we are a cognitive solutions and a cloud platform company. And everything we do is aimed at that now. So enter year 3 of this transformation. Digital foundation, and we emerge as a cognitive solutions and cloud platform company. Those are not 2 separate things. They're one coin, 2 different sides. So let me wrap up with some ideas about or not ideas, or examples of what you're already doing to differentiate your businesses with cognitive. Because you are creating these solutions and you are delivering them on the cloud. So let me start with Jibes. Jibes uses Watson. Their client is Rabobank, one of the big banks in Europe, to do a financial radar system. They are pulling in all this unstructured market data and as well then predicting market dynamics. And Jibes will be up here a little bit later to talk about their solution. Or DataSkill. This is one, it's in the medical profession. They are helping hospitals, and in fact, they are helping Unity Point Health, and it's reading a doctor's notes, looking for misdiagnoses so they can be submitted for reimbursement to an insurance company. Okay, interesting. The interesting part is they estimate 30% they miss for reimbursement. Big opportunity, but notice what Watson's doing is reading all this unstructured information to help them do that. Cloud One, you're in the audience. This is as well a cloud-based solution. Customer is Cummings Engine. And what this is taking all of the different sensor data off of trucks. Their customers are transportation companies, predicting maintenance on trucks before they have to actually have a breakdown out there. Or another completely different industry, Findability Sciences is using Watson to help find the right donors for non-for-profit. Watson is analyzing all the social media to understand how to talk to potential donors, what their interests are, to better match up. I mean, there are tons of these great examples out there, and notice something. They all took bits and pieces of Watson, these APIs, and they just started changing what it is that they do. And it differentiates them versus everybody else. And Mark, you got a lot of people coming up that are going to show this here. So many great examples. And as Mark showed, I got to thank you again. So many of you had a great, great 2015. So I thank you for that. To me, 2016, like for the IBM company, stands to be a truly remarkable year. So you guys have transformed with gusto. We are going to keep bringing you great assets, because this is a journey I really think about, and I could just tell from everyone I met, it's a journey that we have shared together, and it really does bind us together. And this era of cognitive, I just want you to remember a couple things. It is here. I go back to how I started our talk. It is the most disruptive, but it will be the greatest opportunity. And I think a warning from the past, when these shifts begin, they are always inevitable. And like digital today, the world will embrace cognitive tomorrow. And there's a very simple reason why it will. Because without it, we'll be overwhelmed with this data, but without it, we don't stand a chance to solve what are some of the world's greatest problems, which I think are now within our grasp to solve. And I am more confident than ever that everyone in this room is not only going to enjoy this journey, they will benefit from this journey, and they will feel like the IBM company, that they have done something that is essential for this world. So I thank you again. I thank you for helping us bring this next era to our clients, and the IBM company couldn't be more committed to you. So I look forward to spending some time with you the rest of today, and again, thank you very much for your commitment to IBM.